Hello, beautiful, and welcome back for another video.
Eso se ve bien, bebecita. Yo tengo lo que tú necesitas. Que hay que hacer.
Hello, beautiful, and welcome back to the Baddie B Mindset Podcast. It's Steph, and I'm back with another amazing episode for you to become your highest self this year. And of course, manifest your best life yet, because that is the aftermath of you becoming and consistently persisting to be your highest self. On today's episode, I want to help you do nothing less than that, girl, because we are talking about the most pinnacle topic, if you ask me. Like, the highlight of the self-concept community is persisting. How do we persist? How can we master the art of being in the body of the woman that we know we aspire to be, that we know we came here to be? So on today's episode, I want to help you persist in this new identity. Now, let me back up a little bit here. I want you to reflect on what is the identity that you have created for yourself in quarter four. If you have not done this, it is going to be of your highest interest to do this. And so if you want to go back to the last episode, it's called 40 Days to Her, where we kind of help you jumpstart this. It's going to be so monumental. Every single quarter, I have been glowing up one or more self-concepts, and I have proof of how just from 1 year, it was only 1 year ago, you guys, that I discovered self-concept work for the first time. Shout out to my failed launch back in July. I had that failed launch, discovered self-concept because of it. And ever since applying the kind of work that I've discovered in that community, it has been game-changing crazy for me. My life completely changed 180, and it's still changing. We're just getting started. So I'm so excited to have you along the journey, girl. So on today's episode, let's talk about persisting in the new identity. After you know what identity you are persisting in, it is time to get clear on how to continuously show up as that version of you. Now, one thing about persisting I want to say is that persisting simply is dwelling in an emotional state. It is dwelling in an identity. And you're doing this all the live long day. Right now, you are in a state. You are dwelling in an emotional state, and that state determines your identity. And I want you to become more conscious of these states. Be more aware of the states that you are constantly embodying on a moment by moment basis, and begin to get better at emotionally regulating yourself back to the identity that you are dwelling in, that you are persisting in going into the next quarter. So let's go ahead and dive into 5 ways that I have been able to do this. 5 ways that I've been able to emotionally regulate myself back to the identity of the version of me I'm aspiring to be. So my very first tip for persisting, ladies, is actively learn. And this is going to be the most unsexy step, but we got to get it out the way. The very first step is I love to actively learn from my yucky situations or yucky self-concepts. What do I mean? When I experience problems, I get excited. I have a fiend for them, because as soon as I put my attention on reprogramming that area, my dream life begins to manifest. Pieces of my dream life begin to manifest the minute I learn from the shit that is not serving me. So in this very first step, you got to get better at actively learning from the stuff that is causing chaos in your life. If you go to the grocery store and you recognize that every time it's time to pay for it, you get this like ick in your stomach, this knot in your stomach, you start sweating, you start overthinking, you're checking your account, then you have to catch that. You have to take note of it, catch it, and start to tell yourself, I need to work on this. This is exactly the area that Source wants me to glow up next, and glow it up, girl. So when this is going to be highly beneficial for you to actually keep a notes app on your phone where you can keep track of the self-concepts that are not serving you. Something I did in the beginning and that I tell my clients to do, it's so helpful, is I used to write down, I still do this, but I used to write down more every single self-concept that I knew was not serving me. And you know what self-concept you're embodying based on your reactions. So where are you reacting? What are you reacting to? That is going to tell you the self-concepts that you are embodying immediately. So I took note of my reactions, and I was seeing that I did not embody characteristics of my higher self. And guess what? I began to actively work on reprogramming those self-concepts. So that is the very first thing. Now, how do you do this? If you are inside my programs, or you were inside BBU, or you've signed up for Unshakably Bad 5-day workshop, which went down a year ago, these programs have my Processing Your Emotions Like a Baddie workbook. If you are not a part of those programs and you will like to download this PDF, I will have a link for it down below this episode. You click it, you'll download the PDF. Unfortunately, I will not be because there's like a follow along video that goes with it, or a demo video, or a teachings from the module. Unfortunately, I am not able to share that, just because that is coming from BBU, from rehearsal, from my programs, and I need to honor the women that signed up for those programs. But I will give you guys the PDF. So download Processing Your Emotions Like a Baddie workbook. This workbook, oh my God, is going to teach you how to get better at regulating yourself emotionally. This is an emotional journey. Manifestation is an emotional journey. And the faster you get a hold at mastering your emotions, you get better at mastering deliberate creation. So I want all of you guys to download this PDF if you do not have access to it. If you are inside my big programs, girl, you have access to it. You should be using this along with all of the audios inside my library of transformational audios, and as well as my 20 visualization games. That is like the wonder pack right there. Like, you are set, girl. It's just, are you utilizing it? Are you utilizing your power as a co-creator, taking full responsibility for emotional well-being and putting pen to paper? Because it's as easy as whipping out that workbook and putting pen to paper. And again, if you want this, download the link. I'll have it below this episode. I'll have it on my Instagram bio. I'll have it on my YouTube channel. So visit any of these platforms and you will be able to download this PDF, download it, and identify one yucky issue that you are really having a hard time coming around to understanding. Maybe it's around money. Maybe it's around your relationship. Maybe it's around your friendship group. Maybe it's around your career. Maybe it's around your purpose. Whatever you're feeling confused about, girl, whip out that workbook. I promise you, you will finish it with an answer, with clarity, with a feeling of enlightenment. So please process your emotions. Again, persisting really is an emotional regulation journey. Get better at regulating self, okay? Now, this is not the only tool out there. There are many tools. We have EFT tapping audios. There is breath work. There is meditations. There is guided hypnoses. But all in all, the main thing that you need to get better at mastering in this step is mastering your emotional regulation journey, like mastering your emotions, getting better at being able to ebb and flow and handle things from a much calmer poise and just self-assured place. A lot of times my clients get scared. They're like, no, I ran into a trigger. I got so triggered. How do you not get triggered, Steph? I got out of my new identity. Girl, this is part of the journey. You did not get out of the new identity. You are now getting clearer on the new identity. You are getting more and more clear on how your higher self actually does react, how she actually does carry herself, how she actually does pay for things. You are gaining so much clarity, and the faster you get excited about that, the faster this shit becomes fun for you, effortless for you, and second nature to you. And that's kind of where I'm at now. It's like problems are kind of my thing now. I'm like, wow, this hurt a little bit, but I'm more excited than anything because I know exactly that when I level up this area, the whole domino effect is going to be affected. Like, this is going to affect my money. This is going to affect my relationship. This is going to affect my business. It is going to affect my leadership. It is going to affect every area in my life. You got to actively learn from the yucky scenario self-concepts. Every night, if you're going to bed triggered every night, that means you should be journaling on this every single night. You should be actively working on reprogramming your self-concept every night. If you're going to bed happy every night, then you're good. My second tip for persisting is higher self routines. This is non-negotiable. When is it the easiest to feel like your higher self? When you're dressed like her, when you're doing things that literally are related to her. It's like when you upload a TikTok or a reel, you feel pretty good about it. You're like, I did that thing. I'm emitting a new identity. This is how you know This is a perfect time. This is a perfect opportunity. This is a perfect leading edge. This is a perfect point of attraction for you to tap into the vicinity of your highest self. Are you complaining? Because your higher self does not complain. If your higher self is going to Pilates in the morning, why aren't you going to Pilates? If your higher self is starting her day with a slow morning by reading, meditating, affirming, visualizing, why aren't you doing that? This is an opportunity. Like, literally see it as a vortex. When you do the things that your higher self is doing, when you embody the habits that your higher self embodies, you're literally creating a vortex for yourself, where in that vortex, you are pulling in, you are in vibrational harmony with your higher self, with your dream reality. So don't slack on routines. It's such an easy way to get in the vicinity, in the vibration of your highest self, because you're literally acting like her. There's no, oh, I'm manifesting becoming a Pilates princess. I am a Pilates princess. It's not, I'm manifesting becoming a content creator. I am a content creator. So when you start to actually have routines that your higher self is embodying, you are immediately her. Like, doing that routine helps you tap into her. Something too here that I want to mention is dressing like her. Whenever I dress like my higher self, fun fact, I was watching the video of my last episode and I just didn't like it, but I'll have grace with myself because I was cleaning, got a download and was like, fuck it, I need to whip out the mic, whip out the camera, and let's just record. But when I was looking at it, ultimately, I was like, my higher self doesn't show up to podcast days like this. She shows up with a beautiful outfit, beautiful hair. She has a makeup artist, a hair artist. I want to get my makeup and hair done every day before shoot, or on podcast days at least. On the days I shoot podcasts, my higher self has professional hair and makeup done. Well, maybe I don't have a professional hair and makeup person yet, but I can show up as that version of me. I can do my own hair and makeup. I could look up a really nice updo to tap into that identity. And when, like right now that I have all of that on, I feel like that girl. And it's immediately placing me in the vicinity of my higher self. Higher self is activated immediately. It's like that trend of like when girls cut their hair and then they put hashtag new avatar unlocked. Literally same thing. Change your hair, do something, anything that has to do with your higher self. That is higher self avatar unlocked. So we should call step 2 more than anything, unlock your higher self avatar. Do the things that your higher self is doing. Show up as that version of you. If she's doing her makeup, do your makeup. If she goes to Pilates, go to Pilates. Like, show up as this new you. And sometimes you got to change your hair up to do this. Sometimes you got to go shopping to do this. Sometimes you got to throw away all your clothes to do this. So whatever you got to do to amplify this step, do it, girl. The third tip that I have for persisting as the new identity, and it's one of my favorite ones, is I meditate on my new identity. Or I also like to call this, I tap into God consciousness, meaning I get very, very present and I just connect with the truth of who I am, awareness. Because the more you connect with awareness, with that God consciousness, you can shift it into any body that you want. And that is the work that I teach inside of my programs. I'm very passionate about that. And, you know, when I make it a part of my daily routine to meditate, to just tap into that God consciousness, I am strengthening my power as a co-creator. I'm strengthening my power from deliberate creation. I'm also slowing down old thoughts. I'm also creating room for new thoughts to come in, because if you know law of vacuum, which states the new life can't come in until the old life comes, your new identity can't come until the old one comes. This is a gem for that. Meditation allows you to slow down your old thoughts, put a stop to the old thoughts. The way Dr. Joe Dispenza describes it, I love this, is he says you have to go from being somebody, aka the old version of you, into being nobody, aka just get very present, shut down those thoughts, shut down those thoughts that have been firing and wiring. You shut them off because you are so present. And when you become nobody, aka you just get present, I don't know if I'm making sense, but if you follow Joe Dispenza's teachings, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When you get very present to that God consciousness, you create so much room for the new identity come in. You then start to receive divine downloads, divine whispers, and you start to slowly but surely create room for the new identity. You're no longer firing and wiring the same neurons that were associated with the old identity. You slowed them down. So now you have room to practice new ones. So It is game changer. I love to meditate. I do it in the morning. I do it in the middle of the day. Like, let's say I'm shifting between, like right now I'm recording an episode. After I record this episode, I am going to do I have to catch up on emails and also record some EFT tapping audios for my clients. When I'm switching over from this project to that project, I usually like to have a me time in between, like a feminine practice in between. This is where I'll meditate, or this is where I will tap into a practice that helps me elicit that God consciousness. You can also elicit God consciousness through breath work. When you are breathing hard and you're just focusing on your breath and you're holding it, like there's nothing else you're really thinking about but fuck, I want to breathe. That is you tapping into God consciousness. That helps me tap into God consciousness immensely. Hot yoga, Pilates, anything, even just nature hikes helps me tap into God consciousness. Anything that slows down the thoughts, the rummaging thoughts, that is meditation to me. That is my third tip. My fourth tip for persisting, of course, I cannot miss this out, is affirmations and visualization. I put it together because to me, I do both together. When I affirm, I visualize. When I visualize, I affirm. So I love to play my 20 visualization games that I teach inside my self-concept program rehearsal. I play these games all the live long day because visualization, to me, I really battled with visualizing in the beginning. I didn't really find my mind to be flexible enough to just go to these new realities. Like, it was really hard, especially with the problems I was dealing with a year ago. It was really, really hard. And so the only way I was able to be creative about it, be fun and feminine about it, was playing games. I created games, and 20 games to be exact. Actually, I have like 22 games, but I haven't added 2 of them to the playbook. But all in all, I have 22 visualization games that I play, and I love these games. One of them I shared inside the podcast. It's called Walking Affirmations. This is one of my favorite games, and this is a game that you can play every single morning. When you visualize and you tap into that affirmation, into the reality of what that affirmation is saying, it is a game-changing experience, because with enough repetition, with enough practice of you doing this every morning, you will start to renew your subconscious mind. You're going to start to reprogram subconscious mind. And guess what? You will be a download machine. You're going to start to pump ideas, pump divine whispers, or at least be able to recognize them, because I believe divine whispers are there all day. It's just you're not listening to them because you have a much louder voice that needs to be tamed, that needs to be quieted, which is why I love the last step of meditation, tapping into God consciousness. But affirmations and visualizations become so much more easier when you actually slow down your thoughts. So please do not skip the last step 3 that I was talking about. That is really important, because it's going to make step 4 much more easier. A lot of times it's hard to visualize, it's hard to affirm, it's hard to persist in the new wish fulfilled, because you're so hung up on this reality, on what's going on in this reality, on the problems of this reality. So that's why step 3, meditation, God consciousness, very important. Affirmations and visualization, though, is the cherry on top. This is how you start to use your power as a co-creator. This is your wand right here. So again, if you want to play a game, go to that Walking Affirmations episode, beautiful. Listen to it. I promise you that game alone can cause so many beautiful shifts for you. And my last and final tip for persisting, and this is one that I think a lot of baddies struggle with, is taking inspired actions towards your dream life. Now, the way I do it personally is I like to look at my vision board, and every week I'm like, what could I check off the vision board? You guys, you might assume like, oh, Steph's vision board probably has a Porsche, which it does, or Steph's vision board probably has millionaire, which it does, but it doesn't just have this. Inside my programs, I teach how to create an intentional vision board. And this vision board has 3 rings. The middle ring, and by the way, this is from, I had her on the podcast, my girl Kristen from the Comfort Zone book, now rebranded as the Positivity book, or How to Be Positive. Either way, great books. Go get them. and re-listen to that episode. She was a guest on the podcast. But my girl Kristen came up with this way of making vision boards that I teach in the program, and it's been game changing. The way we build a vision board is we use 3 rings. The outer ring is going to have those big manifestations that we all see, like on Pinterest. Like it's the $1 million home, it's the first class, it's the luxury travel, it's the 7-figure bank account. That's like the 3rd ring, the big vision. In the middle ring, we have manifestations that feel like you can just bend down and pick them up. So on this middle ring, I have on there my YouTube camera, which is now in front of me. I got the chills saying that. In the middle ring, I also have, it might sound funny to some of you guys, but I have a Stanley cup just because I want to show my mind that pieces of my dream life are manifesting. I can go get the Stanley, and now I have it right here. Another piece right there that I have is a bunch of Zara bags, like a bunch of Zara shopping bags, because that to me signifies that I shop with ease and I shop whenever I want. And guess what I do? So you want to put things that you can bend down and pick up on this middle ring of the vision board. Now, in the center of the vision board, you want to include things that you already manifested. You want to show subconscious mind that you are already here. You are blessed. God is so good. So in my middle ring, it's a big like heart picture of me and my boyfriend at Disneyland. We're kissing and I'm dressed as Princess Belle and he's dressed as, he's not literally wearing like the Beast outfit, but he's wearing like a blue button up. So it's just so cute. It's a cute little picture for me. Then I have Ryder. He literally looks so goofy smiling. And then I have a text that says family. I have a text that says Baddie B mindset because I'm so grateful for this brand and creating this and just going after my dream life. And then I also have in the middle my apartment, and I also have on there content creator because those are things that I already manifested. I'm so grateful for, and I want to honor that. So having this vision board every single week, I like to ask myself, what could I make real on my vision board? How can I start manifesting pieces of my vision board? Sometimes it's a cute Lulu fit. Other times it's a Sony camera. Other times it's a little enhancement to my 10-step K beauty routine. Other times it's a LED light. Whatever I feel like my higher self is doing and is on that middle ring, every week I'm like, what could I do? What could I bend down and pick up? So this is where it gets really fun because then you see for yourself that pieces of your dream life really are manifesting. So I want you to ask yourself, what is something that is that's on my vision board? If you don't have a vision board, just mentally create one right now. I know you have desires. I know you know them. I know they're in your heart, so it's not hard. But think about like, what is something that's on my vision board that I can technically bend down and pick up? Sometimes it's just signing up for that program. Sometimes it's getting that Pilates membership. Sometimes it's getting that camera. Sometimes it's starting the YouTube. That's another thing on my middle ring too, that I had was start the YouTube channel. YouTube, here we are. So ladies, think about these things. What are the things that are on your vision board that you can technically bend down and pick up? You're just choosing not to. I believe there is something. I believe you can do it today if you want to. You just have to put your foot down and do it. And this is persisting, more than persisting. This is bridging. This is like manifest. This is like actualizing. This is like architecting. So it goes so far persisting, but I wanted to include it because this is like the cherry on top. Like when you start to show mind that pieces of your dream life are manifesting, you start to become a magnet for more. You start to actualize more. You start to draw in more and more, and you get excited. Like every week I'm like, now what could I manifest? Now what could I add for my vision board? Now what do I want to manifest for my vision board? Every single week I do this and it has been transformational. So ladies, if you have joined my programs, you're doing all the things, maybe you're missing this step. Maybe you haven't took that aligned action, that inspired action. Maybe you still haven't took that action that literally you can bend down and pick up and it's a part of your vision board. What is that action? It is time to take that action today. And those are the 5 steps for persisting, ladies. I know that we kind of went through them quickly, but revisit them, take your time on them. I promise you, if you start to apply all of these rules, you will start to see a monumental change. And be patient with yourself. Again, I create the programs that I create because of this step. If you ever join my programs, know that you are joining because of this step, because you want to master persisting, because you want to master the art of deliberate creation. I love you so much, beautiful. As always, if you enjoyed this episode, I would so appreciate it if you left me a review on iTunes. It really helps the podcast. It helps other ladies manifest, glow up, and literally receive answers to prayers that they've been praying for. So leave a review. It really does help. If you're watching this on YouTube, comment down what is the number one persisting tip that stood out to you. What is the tip that you're going to start embodying? Which is the one that called out to you the most? And maybe if you are also down, share with me the inspired action that you're going to take. Tag me on Instagram, let the baddies know, get us pumped up, show us that you're doing the work so other ladies can get pumped to do it too. And I love you so much, beautiful. Have an amazing day.